Jamarr, starting with you, there has been a lot of concern over who the committee is made up of. Do you think the Democrats have an unfair advantage here?
No, I don't think it's about having an unfair advantage. I think it's very important to make sure that we are balancing the committee as much as possible. But what we have to recognize is that these hearings are fundamentally important. What we saw on January 6th was a white supremacist, racist attack that was based on a lie about an election that threatened the lives of thousands and that killed 5 people. And those 5 people, one of those 5 people included a police officer. And so, no, it's not about an unequal balance. The Republicans had an opportunity to play fair, and they chose not to. But we have to move forward with the proceedings because we need to get to the bottom of what happened on January 6th.
Okay, Jamarr, you were talking about the rioters and the attack, and you said it was white supremacist and racist. Could you expand on that? What made it white supremacist and racist?
Sure. And one of the things I think that's important, especially about this piece around exclusion, is really one of the reasons that we had the attacks was because of the big lie that Donald Trump and the Republicans across the country were telling. And so it's very troubling that Republicans do not want to participate in this type of behavior. But one of the things that's important about this election that we have to recognize that an unprecedented amount of young people, people with disabilities, and people of color showed up in this election. And what we saw on January 6th was a result of a lie that's been told to these folks. And they showed up at our Capitol and threatened elected officials, killed 5 people, and threatened the seat of federal power. And so that's exactly why. And they have stopped at nothing to exclude the American people from information about this, which is why from the very beginning, Republicans were so vehemently opposed to even having a committee to investigate. You would think that they would want to have a committee to investigate something so terrible.
Jamarr, why have Democrats pushed so hard for the hearings?
Well, I think it's fundamentally important. One of the things that, we don't hear from the Republicans is really coming out against this. It took them several days, even weeks, for many of them to even come out against the January 6th attack. And so one of the things that's important is the U.S. Capitol is the seat of federal power. So if there's an attack on the federal building, it only would make sense for us to investigate that. That would happen if it was at a state capitol, if it was at a city hall, wherever. And so it only makes sense in the sense that this is the seat of federal power. And the Republicans have been playing for months to block this because many of them potentially were involved in it or potentially think that they are benefiting from it in the aspect of many of their supporters participating in the attack.
Okay. All right. We have to wrap it up.